Hey guys, there are so many things I want to talk about right now. It's kind of insane. But what I'm most excited about is Kate said I could start the story, and I have like 10,000 different ideas for what to do, and I'm not sure what direction to go with it. But I really, really like don't want to choose wrong, and part of me is like, oh, I should start a story starring all of us. And then another part of me is like, no, I want it to be a fairy tale, or I want it to be like a superhero action thing. So it's like, I don't know what direction to go. By the end of this video, I will have completely decided, and you'll get to see what it was. But it's going to be so cool that we're all doing this together. I mean, not the beginning. Just, yeah. So this weekend I went to Cape Cod, which is like on the coast of Massachusetts. Massachusetts coast, how do you phrase that? And it was absolutely phenomenal. My a cappella group sang for a disabled school, and it was the most touching, moving experience I may have ever had. Some of them spoke to us after the performance, and just our conversations together were just absolutely incredible. And I mean, I was in tears so many different times, and it was wonderful. Yeah. Also, I got to drive. We called it like one step away from the Batmobile. It was like sleek, black, sexy car. At some point, it'll be on Facebook eventually. It was like the coolest car I've ever driven by far. It was so much fun. It was magical. It was like you push a button rather than putting a key in to start the ignition. Like, oh my gosh. Oh, it was so much fun. So next Monday and Tuesday I am off from school, which is awesome. And technically I have off tomorrow too, because I'm in class. So I'm so stoked about that. But then Wednesday, like the proper semester actually starts. So that's a little more stressful. Yeah. But my winter term, which we only had one class, well, I had two classes, but most people only had one class, and for chill, I played cards till 3:30 in the morning like 4 times, like during the school week too. And I watched like a ton of movies. I watched all of Downton Abbey that's been released in the States. It's it's been so much fun. Like I've just had the best month. Yeah, not as good as last year's January, but still pretty darn good. I still haven't decided what to do about this story. Oh my gosh, I'm usually so good at this. Like I can create like plots, and I just think about like general overviews of what I want stories to be, and I have like 10,000 of those that will never actually get written. But that's not how this works. So it's not like I can say, oh, I want it to be this vague thing, so I can start it with this sentence. Because like if I start it with this sentence, you might go in that direction, whereas I wanted it to go in this direction, and then somebody else takes it like straight up, and then it's so weird because it's like I have no control over where it's gonna go, but that's like the best part. But oh, I don't know. Last night it was like -2 or so plus wind chill, and my friend's car broke down, or got a flat tire, didn't break down. And we were stuck outside for an hour getting it like to fix it because the tire itself had frozen to the car. So we had to like hit it a hammer against a block of wood to dislodge it. It was so cold, and I didn't have my heavy jacket on. I thought my fingers were gonna fall off. I was like, yeah, I couldn't move at one point because it was just like I'm too cold. But at least it was an adventure and something to talk about later. Also, some friends and I hired a violinist last night, and he came to our dining hall, and some people dressed up nicely. I didn't because it was right after we had the tire incident, so I didn't end up classy. But everyone else was classy and with a violinist in a dining hall, and it was just so wonderful. It was like I felt like I was at a 5-star restaurant or something. Do they have those? Is it 5 stars? I think so. I'm currently in a spat with a friend, or several friends. And that's sort of upsetting because her friendship used to mean a lot to me, but over the last year we've been growing apart. And it's gotten especially bad in the last couple weeks, which is. However, I have almost $4 of cookie dough in my fridge and a whole bunch of iced tea. So that makes up for it. Okay, so at first I was going to just speak 2 sentences, but then I realized that you said we could technically speak in paragraphs. So I wrote out a beginning of a story, and I hope it's okay. It's sort of like I wrote a prologue, and then you guys can start the actual story, but here goes. Once upon a time, in a far-off kingdom, there lived a witch. She had 3 toddlers, 2 sons named Gregory and Christoph, and a daughter named Alexandra, when she was killed by the king's army. The soldiers didn't know whether or not the children were magical, but didn't want to kill them regardless, because they were just children. The children were sent to live with a kind peasant family who would raise them as their very own. Time passed, and it wasn't until they were teenagers that odd things started happening. Okay, you guys continue. or don't if you hate it. I hope it's not like too Harry Potter. It really was not intended to be. I really do not want it to go that direction. But I hope you liked it, and if you didn't, just, scratch it and somebody else start. Okay. Bye, DFTBA.